If it was just balanced like a seesaw, and once it starts to go, if it's got like 50 ton on it, once it starts going, you're not going to be able to stop it. But when it's in equilibrium, it always wants to go back to its centre spot. So you spin it round. See? So the only friction force is acting on where the shoe is here, is right there. So, and this is a brass plate. So you put a bit of oil in there, and it'll just moves. Simple as. Okay, I wanted to start talking about Ezekiel now, and why I think that the prophet of Ezekiel is describing this machine. The first thing that stood out to me, it says in here that it turns, it did not turn when it went. Specifically, he says, and they went straight forward where the Spirit would go. They turned not when they went. So what it's trying to say is that it turned before they went. So it turns, and then it moves. It turns, and then it moves. That's what he's trying to say there. That's in that bit there. He's got a bit here, he says, and their feet were straight feet, and the soles of the feet were like the soles of a calf's foot. Now, a calf's foot is articulated, it's split into two. But particularly what he's saying is, the soles, their feet, plural, were straight feet. I think he's talking about that they were flat feet. And the soles of their feet were like the soles of a calf's foot, singular. So their 2 feet are like the soles of one calf's foot. So that's what I'm saying about that. And they sparkled with burnished brass. So obviously put a brass inlay, less resistance when it's on a turning speed. And they had hands under their wings on all 4 sides. Well, obviously you'd have men working on these on all 4 sides. And everyone went straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they had faces of a man, and they 4 had the face of a lion on the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox on the left. So there's 4 sides to this machine, or 4 wings. So you would have an eagle in the middle, an ox and a lion on either side. That orientates it. If there's a statue on here, if the statue's on here, and the guy who's standing on the top giving orders say, right, push it to the right, and this has already gone round there once, and somebody says push it to the right, you wouldn't know which is your right and your left orientation. But if he says push it to the lion, or push it to the ox, or eagle for up and let it down again, that's the orientation. And it says, for the likeness of the living creatures, the appearance was like burning coals of fire. Well, the young guys in loincloths, and they clipped them clear in the ground. It's probably getting dark at night, and they've got torches, and they're running back and forward. They're going to be like flashes of lightning. So I'm trying to set the scene here. The living creatures ran and returned. So the living creatures are the men that are using this machine. And it says, now I beheld the living creatures. Behold, one wheel upon the earth, and beside the living creatures, for each of its 4 faces thereof. The appearance of the wheel's work was like unto the colour of beryl, which is green. Now, remember these pins are made of green-eyed malachite. So the green-eyed malachite would be all the way around here. And as it's working, you would just see a blare of green. So the work was like the colour of beryl. And again, he says they turned not when they went. He's saying things twice, really, all the time. Like where he said the colour of beryl, he goes back down here. As for the rings, they were high and dreadful, and they had 4, and they 4 had their rings full of eyes all round. So he's talking about the rockers here with the pins that goes through as eyes. He talks about over the heads of the living there was a likeness of a firmament, which is this. The firmament is a table or a platform.
The book of the prophet Ezekiel, chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Kibar, that the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of God. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiakim's captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kibar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the colour of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had 4 faces, and every one had 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their four sides, and they four had their faces and their wings. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went. They went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man, and the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four also had the face of an eagle. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whither the Spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with his 4 faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.